Officials say expat is racist during our expat retire early lifestyle. Can you believe it? The term expat is now being called racist. What is happening in this world? We can't allow this kind of propaganda to continue. And so we decided to make a video about what an expat is and why some people are even called expats. Hello and welcome to Retire Early Lifestyle. This will be a special report because some people are misinformed about this subject, and we need to talk about it. We've been expats for 12 years in South America, Europe, and now Mexico. Why are we expats and not immigrants? Well, here's why. One who expatriates and takes up residency in another country is called an expat. One who immigrates and takes up citizenship in another country is called a migrant. Now, the biggest difference is in residency and citizenship. Two totally different terms. Okay, so let's get started. Expats of all different ethnicities and backgrounds move abroad because they can. A lot of expats are retired and are living off investments, pensions, and or Social Security. Nowadays, there are also many younger folks moving abroad as nomads because they can. They work online off of their laptop and take their finances with them. Another example of what an expat is are the people who have gotten a job transfer in their employment and work in a different location for several years, 2 years, 5 years, whatever the case may be. And after the project is up, they ultimately move back home. What makes up an expat is anyone from any country can be an expat. Anyone. Expats never really settle down in one country for too long, and we know this because the patterns are typical of what expats do. They move to a country of choice and get residency. They live there for a few years and leave. They rarely ever get citizenship in another country, and if they did, they would be called an immigrant. Immigrants move abroad because they have a very low paying jobs and they're having a hard time taking care of their families. Immigrants are usually financial or political refugees or both. The migrants that enter through the door legally leave their own country of birth to settle down in a country they think will be better off financially and safer and more secure. These upstanding people are hardworking migrants who have pride and won't take handouts. They absolutely want to go through the doors into America in a lawful manner, which takes years and years and even more years depending on the migrant's situation. Lawful migrants take driver's tests, get Social Security cards, buy cars and homes, open businesses. They live and play, walk and talk and eat just like the average hardworking American. I know because I'm married to one from Italy. Upstanding migrants have goals, and that's to live the American dream, and their end goal is to almost always get citizenship, and they usually do. Lawful migrants love America. America has seen migrants entering through its doors lawfully for hundreds and hundreds of years for the land that was then called milk and honey. Unfortunately, though, the land of milk and honey is gone in America. It now takes creativity, a can-do attitude, possibility thinking, alternative to finances, and lots of frugalist skills and industriousness to live in America. And that is also a lot of what our channel is about, but that's a different video. And so we're going to end this video with some more interesting things that distinguish the expat from the migrant. When migrants move abroad, they generally have to look for work, versus when expats move abroad, especially those that are retired, they live off their investments and pensions and Social Security. They don't need to work. The other type of expat is called digital nomads, and they are generally younger than the retirees and are also financially independent in the sense that they bring their work with them. It's on their laptop. You know what we mean. When immigrants move abroad, it's generally because they're escaping poverty or oppression or violence, etc. The intent of an immigrant is to never go back to their home country, and most immigrants never do. Versus when expats live abroad, it's because they're initially enticed by the retire abroad media. They're not escaping anything, but trying to find a place where their money will go further and provide them with a better standard of living. But that's not always the case either. But that's another video. So much to talk about. Immigrants usually stay in their chosen country for the long haul just because that is their intention when leaving something negative behind in their own country. Versus expats generally do not stay in one country for very long. They can travel to other parts of the country or leave that country altogether. The average time an expat stays in a country is like 6 months to 7 years. But most leave after 2 or 3 years, and this is exactly why they are considered expats rather than citizens, and this one morphs into our last point. Immigrants usually look to receive citizenship when they move to America. It's something they cherish and are proud of that accomplishment. Versus expats don't generally look for citizenship in another country. They go abroad for residency, and it's because they know in their heart of hearts that they're just taking an extended 2 to 3 years vacation and they'll be back home. However, we think that is changing since the landscape in America is changing so drastically. It makes people think about their options. Expats come from all countries and have all skin colors just like migrants. If calling a person an expat who expatriates from their country of origin to take up residency in another country is racist, then so is calling a migrant who immigrates from their country of origin to take up citizenship in another country racist. Let me say that again. If calling a person an expat who expatriates from their country of origin to take up residency in another country is racist, then so is calling a migrant who immigrates from their country of origin to take up citizenship in another country racist. It's the same thing. So that really sounds silly, doesn't it? Okay then, we cannot allow the few who are trying to divide human beings from each other to get away with their racial nonsense. And unfortunately, there are a few actors that think they can keep pushing the race card for everything. They want to turn something that is good and right upside down and make it bad because perhaps they have a sliver in their brain. We think once they get the sliver out of their brain, they'll begin to see much clearer all this racial agenda nonsense that they're trying to play around the world. It's an agenda, folks, but we won't let them mess around with a word that has been around for hundreds of years and is what it is, expat. It's the eyes to see and ears to hear. And thanks for being here today, and have a great day. Bye-bye.